Hi students, today we are going to see few important images about the subclavian artery. Since we have not seen the cadaver during this lockdown period, I would like to show you few pictures of the subclavian artery for the better understanding. We'll move on to the first slide. So look at this. This is the neck region. Here you can see the nice number 9 muscle sternocleidomastoid. It goes here, and then the 12th is the clavicle, right? This is the area, neck area. Here, why I posted this picture is number one, everyone knows about the anterior triangle and the posterior triangle. So sternocleidomastoid, behind the sternocleidomastoid, this is the posterior triangle, and here, and this is thorax region. This is called superior mediastinum. This is the area exactly. Here we will be having something called as arch of aorta. From the arch of the aorta, we have few important blood vessels coming out. The blood vessels, the most important, one of the most important blood vessel coming out from this arch of aorta is subclavian artery, right? So we have to see the origin of the subclavian artery next. Number one, posterior triangle. Already you might have learned about the posterior triangle is divided into two parts by the inferior belly of omohyoid. Hope you remember that. So that lower portion is called a subclavian triangle. Why it is called a subclavian triangle? Because you have the subclavian artery lies inside that triangle. So keep it in mind. This is the area where you have the subclavian artery. So this entire area is occupied by the subclavian artery, right? Next we'll move on to the next slide. Look at this. This is the first strip. So before going into the details, you should know about the first strip. I don't know how many of you might have seen the first strip. This is the shortest, thickest rib. Okay, first rib, and here is the head, and this is the neck, and this is the vertebral end because it is attached to the vertebra, and this is called the costal end. It is attached to the costal cartilage. And here if you see, this number 4 is very important. This is called a scalene tubercle. Here I have written it at the scalene tubercle. In the scalene tubercle only the most important muscle, scalenus anterior, gets its attachment. This scalenus anterior arises from the transverse process of third, fourth, fifth cervical vertebra, and then it is coming and getting its attachment in the upper surface of the first rib. Okay, inner margin. Okay, number one. Number two, the grooves. You have the anterior groove, and behind that you have the posterior groove. The anterior groove in front of the scalene tubercle, it lodges an important vessel called subclavian vein. Behind that, another one groove, it lodges subclavian artery. So this is a very important MCQ. Which one is anterior, which one is posterior? The anterior one is subclavian vein, and the posterior one is subclavian artery. So if I ask the relation of subclavian vein to the subclavian artery, you should tell us subclavian vein is anterior to the subclavian artery, right? Then we'll move on to the next one. And do you remember what is the important membrane is getting its attachment in this inner margin, inner border of the first rib? Oh, yes, correct. Suprapleural membrane or Simpson's fascia is attached here. And here is the neck. Neck, the most important structures present in the neck are sympathetic chain, superior intercostal artery, posterior intercostal vein, and T1 nerve. Okay, sympathetic fibers from the T1. Okay, these four structures are lying along the neck. These are all will be again recollected in the while talking about the relations. So this is about the rib. Number 3, origin of the subclavian artery. Look at this, a lovely cadaveric picture of the subclavian artery. So this is the arch of aorta 8, and then here you will be having the brachiocephalic trunk, and this is the brachiocephalic trunk divides into right subclavian and right common carotid, and here is the left subclavian 6, and the next one, sorry, common carotid 6 is the common carotid, left common carotid, and the 7th is the left subclavian. Look at this. So this is the important one. Okay, so this image gives you the idea about the origin of the subclavian artery, right? So these are all our MCQs. Right subclavian artery originates from the brachiocephalic artery, and the left subclavian originates from the arch of aorta. Very good. So finished. And then next we'll move on to the course. After getting its origin, here you can see a nice muscle by the name. This is your rib. So first rib means immediately the student should recollect this muscle called scalenus anterior. How did you identify this muscle as scalenus anterior? Can you see number 7, that is the phrenic nerve which lies on the scalenus anterior. This is the MCQ. So the nerve which lies on the scalenus anterior is phrenic nerve, right? Like nerve lies on the psoas majoris, genitofemoral nerve, like that. The same way here the phrenic nerve lies on that. So we could identify this as a scalenus anterior muscle. And look at this, this is the arch of aorta and the brachiocephalic trunk is here, and from here the common carotid goes up and the subclavian is 14. The subclavian goes, this is the first part of the subclavian, and the first part of the subclavian is medial or proximal to the scalenus anterior, and the second part we are not able to see because it lies beneath or behind the scalenus anterior. This is second part, and the third part is distal to the scalenus anterior, and this is about the parts of the subclavian artery. So subclavian artery is divided into 3 parts by the scalenus anterior muscle, and it continues from the outer border of first rib as axillary artery. So it starts from the sternoclavicular joint and it comes here up to the first rib. From the outer border of the first rib it continues out as the axillary artery, right? Okay, number 1, we have finished the origin, we have finished the extent, and we are talking about the course. 3 parts we have spoken out, and then I want to show you a few important structures here. So you have seen all these arteries. Next picture we will see the other relations. So now we'll see the relations. Look at this. Here you cannot see the subclavian artery. Here you can see a part of it, but here everything is hidden. Hidden by whom? Strap muscles. Here sternohyoid, sternothyroid, all the muscles are here, and the sternocleidomastoid is here. And then over that, common carotid artery, carotid sheath structures. Carotid sheath structures are common carotid artery and vagus nerve and jugular. All these structures, they hide the subclavian artery. So they all form the anterior relations. Then who forms the posterior relation? The anterior relation of right side is very simple, but left side anteriorly the most important structure crosses over here, that is number 7, that is thoracic duct. The student should not forget to write about this important structure, thoracic duct. Rest everything is same like right side. So anterior relations got over. Posteriorly you will be having your lung, suprapleural membrane, all those structures lying posterior to that. So posterior relations are same, okay, both the sides. So anterior relation, you please concentrate that carotid sheath structures and strap muscles. Extra thing in the left side is thoracic duct. The next is medial relations. So medial relation, you will be having this area, you will be having trachea and esophagus. If the student says about trachea and esophagus, immediately he should talk about the recurrent laryngeal nerve, because tracheo-esophageal groove lodges recurrent laryngeal nerve. That is the MCQ here. You can see that nicely. And then again I want to show you the thoracic duct here, how nicely it is going. It crosses the artery anteriorly. Look at this. And then posteriorly, this is the subclavian. Posterior to the subclavian, nice yellow color structure comes out. Bunch of nerves, that is called brachial plexus. Lower trunk of brachial plexus you can see here. So posterior relation, you can see lower trunk of brachial plexus. Already in the first slide when I show the first rib, I asked you the structure which is lying anterior to the subclavian artery. So anterior to that you have the subclavian vein. Posterior to that you are having the brachial plexus. Next. These are all the branches. I'll introduce the branches later on. Okay, anyway, you can see this first part branches. One is 13, I have written as superior cervical because it is going towards the neck. It is called superior cervical and it is accompanying this lovely nerve, spinal accessory. So this is MCQ, that superior cervical otherwise called as transcervical, and it is accompanying the spinal accessory nerve. And then the 14th one is the scapular, suprascapular artery. So it lies above the transverse scapular ligament on the scapular notch. So we will ask you in the MCQ, suprascapular artery is lying above the ligament or below the ligament? Above the ligament is the answer. Okay. So this is suprascapular artery. These are the branches we'll see. And then nerves related to the subclavian artery are, see, look at the nerves. I want to tell you sympathetic chain is also related to the subclavian artery. So sympathetic chain from a fiber from the sympathetic chain, it comes and encircles number 5. This is called as ansa subclavia. So small root comes and winds around the subclavian artery. This is called as ansa subclavia, right? So number 1 and number 2 already you know between the um, a common carotid artery and the internal jugular vein you have already the vagus nerve. Number 4 is vagus. Cannot see vagus here, and then yeah, you can see vagus here. 4 is vagus, and then already we know about the phrenic nerve which lies on the scalenus anterior, and you can see some branches. This is part 1, part 2 behind the scalene, and part 3 is coming out here. Okay, so part 1, if you see, you have a sixth one that is called as the first artery. First artery, we'll see vertebral artery, all those arteries. Anyway, you can see that one branch comes from here, and you can see all the branches are going from here and there. We'll see. So this picture is only for the nerves related to the subclavian artery. So keep it in mind. The nerve which is lying on the scalenus is phrenic, and which lies, this is common carotid. Here the common carotid is your vagus, and the one which comes and winds around the subclavian from the sympathetic chain is ansa subclavia. Another one branch of vagus which comes and wind around, that is called recurves, that is called as recurrent laryngeal nerve. Okay, so right recurrent laryngeal nerve winds around the right subclavian artery, but left recurrent laryngeal nerve winds around the arch of aorta. So right only winds around the right subclavian artery. Keep it in mind. And then branches. So look at this. This is a lovely picture. You can see all the branches here. Number 1. Look at this. This is a branch, first branch. Can you see this? This is a subclavian artery. You can see here. This is part 1. The part 1 first branch enters into the vertebral foramen transversorium of the 6th vertebra, 5th vertebra, 4th, 3rd, 2, 1. Like that it goes. But it will not enter into the foramen transversorium of the 7th cervical vertebra. So it starts entering into the foramen transversorium is a opening or a hole which is present in the transverse process of the cervical vertebra. See how nicely it is going inside. That is called as vertebral artery. So this is part 1 of the vertebral artery before entering into the foramen. This inside the foramen is part 2. Part 3 is in the suboccipital triangle. Part 4 is inside the cranial cavity. So this is about the vertebral artery. In the vertebral artery in the neck, it gives blood supply to the spinal cord here, and then it gives blood supply to the muscles present here. And then next is down. Immediately you can see another one which is going down towards the thorax is called as internal thoracic artery. Internal thoracic artery, already we have seen in the thorax, it doesn't give any branches in the neck. Okay, so this is internal thoracic artery. And then number 3, the most important branch is called thyrocervical trunk. Thyro means it gives inferior thyroid artery. It goes to the thyroid gland. Okay, number 1. Number 2, inferior thyroid artery, it gives branches to the gland, as well as it gives one branch called ascending cervical artery which supplies the neck muscles and the spinal cord as well. And here only you have the trachea, esophagus, everything. So this inferior thyroid artery not only supplies the thyroid gland, it also supplies the trachea, esophagus and the muscles around this and spinal cord. Okay, all these structures. Very good. So we have completed thyro, one part of thyrocervical trunk. Thyro means inferior thyroid artery, number 1. Number 2 is superficial cervical artery. Look at this. This is called superficial cervical artery 2. So 2 over. Number 3 is suprascapular artery. Already I have mentioned about that. So these are the 3 branches. Number 1 inferior thyroid. Number 2 superficial cervical. Number 3 suprascapular. All these 3 branches we have already mentioned. And the next one, all the branches actually it has vertebral artery, internal thoracic artery, thyrocervical trunk. But sometimes the second branch called here number 3 it is given as, right, that is called costocervical trunk. So right side all the branches they come from the first part, but left side the costocervical trunk alone will be coming from the second part. So don't get confused. So all the branches mostly they come from the first part itself. Sometimes the second part left side it has a branch called costocervical trunk. Costo means superior intercostal artery. Cervical means deep cervical artery. Already in the thyrocervical trunk, we mentioned about superficial cervical. But in the costocervical trunk, we are talking about the deep cervical artery. There is only one MCQ in the superior intercostal artery. Superior intercostal artery supplies the first and second intercostal spaces. So posterior into first and second intercostal arteries are the branches from the superior intercostal artery. So this is about the MCQ of this. Sometimes the deep cervical artery can come from the third part. Okay, that time it is called as dorsal scapular artery. Already you know about dorsal scapular now, which supplies the levator scapulae, rhomboides major minor. So along with that, the dorsal scapular artery also runs. So again I enumerate. Number one is the vertebral artery and internal thoracic artery, thyrocervical trunk. Part 2 you have the costocervical trunk. Part 3 you will be having the dorsal scapular artery. So these are the branches of the subclavian artery. And then in detail about the vertebral artery. Look at this, how nicely you can see this specimen. Here you can see the vertebra, you can see the vertebrae. Okay, here this artery is running here, and the 2 is common carotid lying in front of it, and the vertebral artery enters into the foramen transversorium. After that you cannot see that artery, it is going up. And this side if you see, you can see the branches of the subclavian. See thyrocervical trunk, you can see the branches coming from here. Number 1 is vertebral artery going up, and number 2 coming down is internal thoracic artery going to the thorax, and number 5 is the thyrocervical trunk. Thyrocervical, thyro means inferior thyroid, cervical means superficial cervical, as well as suprascapular arteries are going here. And then third part of vertebral artery, that the second part I said it enters into the foramen. Third part you can see inside the suboccipital triangle along with the nerve. Okay, and then fourth part, it pierces the posterior longitudinal membrane, all the arachnoid matter, dura matter, everything, and it enters into that. Okay, look at this, this is the base of the brain. So this is 2 is your vertebral artery. This after the third part it enters into the brain. Okay, look at this brain stem, you can see there along with the suboccipital. Now this is the atlas, first vertebra. This is called posterior arch of the atlas. This is the MCQ. What are the structures lying in the posterior arch of the atlas? Number 1 is the vertebral artery. Number 2 is the suboccipital nerve. Along with the suboccipital nerve it enters. And then on the thyrocervical branch we will see this is the thyrocervical trunk. Inferior thyroid, it's going up one branch. Second branch is the superficial cervical artery, and the third branch is the suprascapular artery. So you all should keep it in mind. Thyrocervical trunk has 3 branches, 1, 2 and 3. And you can see the lovely subclavian artery coming over here, and behind that you can see nicely the 10 brachial plexus, lower trunk of brachial plexus. And this is number 3 is your scalenus anterior. So obviously this is scalenus medius, the posterior aspect. We don't want that. Okay, so students should know scalenus anterior only divides it into 3 parts. This is the first part branch only we are talking about. One branch vertebral artery over internal thoracic also I told you, and now is the thyrocervical trunk I showed. And the next one, inferior thyroid artery, how nicely it comes and supplies the thyroid gland. See, and now down you will be having the recurrent laryngeal nerve which is also accompanying this. So you have to be very careful while clamping the inferior thyroid artery because it is accompanied by the recurrent laryngeal nerve. So always near the thyroid gland only it accompanied by the recurrent laryngeal nerve. So always clamp away in the inferior aspect. And then next is this is the last picture. Here you should show me the important structures I will be asking you. Number 1, what is this artery? Number 6, which enters into the foramen transversorium of all the vertebra? 1. Okay, so the answer is vertebral artery. Very good. Number 2, the one which is coming down and going to the thorax is which artery? So the answer is internal thoracic. Number 3, this is the trunk. Trunk means all the branches are coming from here. So this is what is the name of this trunk. These are all the branches from the first part, thyrocervical trunk. Now the next question is After coming out from the distal portion of the scalenus anterior muscle, this artery, outer part of the first rib, it continues as which artery? Yes, axillary artery. Very good. Name the vein which is lying anterior to the subclavian artery. What is this vein? Subclavian vein. Name the yellow color structure which lies posterior to the subclavian artery is brachial plexus. Very good. So these are all the important questions. So nothing can be asked as a spotter. But anyway, the relations should not get compromised with the relations. So anterior relations, always keep it in mind, the carotid sheath and the strap muscles. Left side, please don't forget to write about the thoracic duct anterior relation. Posterior relation of the first part is suprapleural membrane and the apex of the lung. Always suprapleural membrane and apex of the lung will be coming. And second part, anterior relation, will be, don't forget to write about the second part. Anterior relation is your scalenus anterior muscle and the phrenic nerve, very simple. And the posterior relation, as usual, suprapleural membrane and apex. When you come to the third part, that time only you have to be very careful. Anterior relation is subclavian vein and posterior relation is lower trunk of brachial plexus. You keep it in mind. Okay, that's all about the subclavian artery. Thank you.